Two parties stood on opposite sides of the election. One was called the Movement for Liberty and Freedom, the other, the Freedom and Liberty Party. At first, the movement was winning, by a lot. Inside the headquarters of the Freedom and Liberty Party, panic began to spread. Arguments erupted. Voices were raised. Pills were swallowed. Because to everyone in that room, one thing was unbearable: the idea that liberty could ever come before freedom. Then, the party leader had an idea, a final one. They needed a new face, someone honest, hard-working, charismatic, someone wise. They sent a car to the far end of the country. Hours later, a massive white limousine arrived. The door opened, and out stepped a grey stallion. His name was Fluffy. He said nothing. He observed. Silently, wisely. The room exploded with applause. This was it, the game changer. Moments later, the party leader announced his retirement. He handed over leadership and a temporary seat in Parliament to someone far wiser than himself. The applause grew even louder, but Fluffy still had to prove himself. A televised debate was scheduled. The moderator was famous. 4 breaking politicians. He started with the opposing party's leader. 3 questions later, the man broke down in tears and ran out of the studio. Then, he turned to Fluffy. Every question was sharp, personal, cruel. Fluffy remained silent. No reaction. No defense. No explanation. Just calm. The moderator tried harder. Nothing worked. The crowd erupted. Against silence. There was no weapon. From that day on, the Freedom and Liberty Party was the only logical choice. They won the election. With 111% of the vote, the Movement for Liberty and Freedom received -0.23. Soon after, the movement was dissolved, then banned, then erased. New laws followed. Liberty was never allowed to come before freedom again. For every 10 words spoken about liberty, freedom had to be mentioned first. Failure was punishable by death. The party took control of the army, the police, every institution. Fluffy ruled with an iron hoof. His posters covered every city. His statues stood in every square. All freedoms were abolished. Only one remained. Every citizen was granted 16 hours per day to worship Fluffy and to bring sugar to his house of flowers. Sugar cubes became the national currency. 99.8% of all sugar was owned by 1% of the population. All of them close to Fluffy. Freedom was finally safe. Liberty was never mentioned again. And Fluffy never said a word.